So I get asked a lot, how do you come up with the ideas for your books? And it's funny because most everything I do in my books has come from some real life event. And I've talked about how Schmoopy came to be, how I had a stuffed poo and I had a poof in my office. And I thought, what if, Schmoopy was jealous of Pooh because Pooh was a regular size and Schmoopy got overstuffed, and that's how that happened. And then Speck, the dust who dared to dream, I've always been fascinated with specks of dust in sunlight. And I remember sitting in special ed and back in my Catholic school, and I would sit and stare at the specks of dust in the sun rays because I wanted to get out of that stupid place, excuse me. So I would daydream about what it would be like to be a speck of dust in that sunlight in their world. And Legs Loves the Loo, I came up with him because there was a spider, and I'm sure there was multiple spiders, but I would pretend that there was one spider named Legs who was always in the bathroom because he loved it there. And I would catch him in a little Kleenex and I would let him outside, and the very next day there would be either him or another spider. But again, when you write children's books, you pretend it's Legs every time. And I would talk to him and say, hey dude, you're going to get smashed because my husband, who I fondly call the professor, is going to come see you and smash you. You better go hide behind the toilet. So I always, just I'm kind of a crazy person. And when I was an occupational therapist for 30 years and you work with kids, you kind of have to be a little crazy. But like the other day, for example, I saw a mockingbird in the driveway and from my window, from my office, and he was running as fast as he could across the driveway. And I thought, well, that would be a fun book. What if, Miles wants to run Miles? His name's Miles, and he wants to run instead of fly, and he wants to be like the Road Runner. And so that was just a silly idea that I had. And a lot of my books don't come to life, but it's all around me. Every time I look around, I see something, I'm like, ooh, that would be a great book. Like, for example, I have this wren that loves to sit in my wreath on my front door. And if we're not careful, sometimes when we open the door, she likes to fly in. So I thought, well, that would be a fun book. This little wren that likes to be on the wreath and one day gets in the house and decides, I don't like it here so much. So my stories are all around me, and I'm always coming up with more and more ideas because there's so much out there.